Hello everybody, welcome to tutorial number 8. This time I'm going to actually talk about what's called arrays. Um, so I've already went over variables and uh, them holding an individual type of data, like an integer holds a number, but it only holds that one number. Well, what arrays do is arrays are basically a group of integers or strings or anything like that. Uh, Basically, you could have them in their own separate blocks. Um, so I'll actually show you how that actually kind of works. So right now, we'll do a string array. So what you want to do is you want to start off with just putting in string, and then directly after string, you want to actually put the brackets, and then you want to actually put what you're going to name your array. So we'll just call it names, and then we'll put an equal sign. And now this is the first way to actually initialize and add stuff to an array. So in here, what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and put quotes, and inside those we'll just put our name, and then so now this has basically one thing in the actual array itself, and what it does is this one thing, an array starts at 0. You'd think that it actually start at 1, but it actually starts at 0. So whenever we actually want to pull out Marcus, we will actually do a console out, and to actually output it, what we'll do is we'll actually put names, and then put the brackets, and then inside there we'll just put 0. So let's go ahead and run this, and now as you see, it outputs Marcus. So this is element 0. Now if we want to add other stuff to it, we'll just actually put a comma, and then we'll put another set of quotes, and we'll go Bob. And then let's add one more, and oops, and we will add Scott. So now what we actually want to do is, I already showed you that 0 pulls Marcus. Well, if we run it again, then it still only pulls Marcus. Now if we actually change this to a 2 and run it, then it's going to pull the very last one, which is Scott. Now like I said, there are 3 elements here, but it only counts to 2 because you start off with 0, 1, 2. So 2 is Scott. So that's basically one way that you can actually do it. Now you can do this with basically any other type. You got integers, doubles, anything like that. And it's going to work the same exact way. Now, if we actually want to make it to where we have a user actually input what they want, then what we'll do is we'll actually take this and we'll actually say new, and then we'll do string. Why did it do that? And then we'll put blocks in here. And then what we actually want to do is we want to put a number in here. So we'll say 5. So now what this is saying right here is that we have up to 5 spaces that we can actually put stuff into. So while we're doing that, we can actually go in here and say So we'll do 4. Now, while counter is less than, counter is less than 5. Okay, so we don't have counter initialized, so let's go ahead and actually initialize that. And we'll actually set that to 0. And in our actual block right here, down at the bottom, we'll actually have, oops, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. There. We'll actually have this in here, and we'll actually have the plus plus, which is going to add 1 to that counter every time that it actually goes through here. So it's going to start off at 0, and it's going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and as soon as it hits 5, it's going to kick out. Now, we only have enough spaces for 5 things, so 0 through 4 is the 5 things that we can actually put in there. So that's why we actually have this as our validation to make sure that it actually kicks out. So in here, we'll actually do console.out.writeLine, and we will say enter, I need quotes, enter the name of person, and then we'll actually put a plus sign, and then we'll actually put the counter right here. That way, and we actually need to do inside here, oops, plus 1. That way, whenever it actually goes through, it's going to say enter the name of person 0 plus 1 equals 1. So it's going to actually basically counteract, so the person on the user end doesn't really see that it starts off with 0. It's going to start off for 1 for them. So let's go ahead and we'll run this, and just remember we're going to output variable number 2, so we're actually going to do the third element of it. So if we actually start this, and that completely messed up. I forgot to do an input statement. I'm talking. This is a lot harder than you think. Just remember that. Trying to talk to you guys and do this at the same time is very difficult. Okay, so we're going to just do console.readLine because we're just doing the string input. Now let's go ahead and run it. Now it works this time, and as you see, like I said, element 0 is going to be the first one, but the actual user is going to see 1. So let's go ahead and put Bob, Chris, and then this is the one that we'll actually see. Frank. Frank sounds like a good one. So we have people 1 through 3. Now it should output name or person number 3, which is in the third element, but it's number 2 on the actual code itself. Why didn't it do it? Be right back. Okay, dummy me. I forgot to actually put the part to where you're actually inputting into the array. So what we're actually going to do is we need to put names and the brackets and then the equal sign, and then inside here we actually need to put counter, so that way we know which one we actually go into. So if we actually run it and we do this again, Bob, Scott, Marcus, Frank, Chris. Frank, Chris, okay, that one will just be an extra one. And then Chris. Okay, so now whenever we run it, we see that it actually comes up with Marcus. Because now if you look right here, person number 3 is Marcus. But we're calling element 2, like I said. So that's one of the small things that can confuse people about arrays, because it always starts at element 0, but you want to actually show the user that you're starting with person 1, normally with stuff like this. So that's basically the end of this tutorial. Basically we went over just arrays, basically how to put input into arrays, how to actually pull data out of the arrays. So the next time that I actually do a tutorial, I'm going to be doing one called lists, and it kind of works the same way as arrays. So just continue to watch, and I'll actually see you next time. Thanks.